Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Toon Yugioh deck profile for February 2018. Big thanks goes out to my girlfriend Marissa for letting me borrow her Toon deck for this video. She's been building up the deck for quite a while now, just missing I think one Toon Kingdom and the deck is all done. This is to get you all hyped for the Legendary Duelist 2, which sadly we are not receiving any Toon support in that set for Maximilian Pegasus. We are actually receiving stuff for his Relinquished deck, which is really cool all on its own. Definitely going to be bringing you guys a deck profile for that as well. But to build up the suspense, let's go ahead and get started with the Toon deck profile. Alright, to start off, we have 3 Toon Gemini Elf in the deck. Now, these numbers might change just because we are also, now that I remember, missing, I think, 1 or 2 Toon Mass Sorcerers for the deck, but we'll get to those numbers later on. But all the Toons basically share the same basis that they cannot attack the turn they're summoned. If Toon World is on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack your opponent directly. And when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. So it's a very powerful card being a 1900 attack, and the fact that you can attack directly means that you'll hit them for heavy damage, and that discard can also very much cripple any play that they wanted to get off for the deck at that time. So a very needed card in the deck. Also 2 Toon Red Eyes Toon Dragon. Cannot attack the turn it's summoned once again, and while you control Toon World and your opponent controls none, it can attack directly. And once per turn, you can special summon 1 Toon monster from your hand, except for Toon Red Eyes, ignoring the summoning conditions. So you can get out some bigger, more powerful monsters with this card, and it's also searchable for the special summon off of the Blackstone, a legend, which we also run those as well. But the big one you want to special summon off of it is Toon Dark Magician. Otherwise, it would take 2 tributes to get out this card. It's a very good card too, so you want to make full use of it in the deck. It has the same attack limitation, and it can also attack directly. And you can discard 1 Toon card or Manga Ruran, then activate one of these effects. You can special summon 1 Toon monster from your deck, except for Toon Dark Magician, ignoring the summoning conditions, or you can add 1 Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So the fact that it has search for what you need as well is very, very good. But like I said, the most consistent play is to open up this and the Blackstone, getting out the Toon Red Eyes, and then special summoning this card, just for better field swarm, definitely. You may not be able to attack with them the first turn, but you will be able to get off that search effect, which comes in handy a lot. And also 2 Toon Cyber Dragon. With this card, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, just like Cyber Dragon, special summon from your hand, can't attack turn summon, but while you control Toon World, it can attack directly. So once again, easy special summon if you control no monsters for another additional easy field swarm, even before you do the Blackstone, a legend play. And the only one-ofs I have in the deck, like I said, I have the 1 Toon Mass Sorcerer, but it has so much potential to be good in the deck because of its draw power that it gives you when it inflicts damage, and it can also, once again, attack directly. But other than that, we'll definitely bump it up to 2 or 3. It's either taking out one of the Toon Gemini Elves. I have 1 Toon Summon Skull in here as well. Probably take that out for a second Toon Mass Sorcerer. If I did run 3 of this, I'd take out 1 Toon Summon Skull and 1 Toon Gemini Elf for those numbers to be 3 for the deck max. And also the 1 Toon Dark Magician Girl, because you can special summon her. She can't be normal summoned, but you special summon her with her own effects, so another easy way to get her out on the field. And the 1 Toon Goblin Attack Force. I was back and forth between Toon Mermaid and this card, but in the end, for more power plays, I preferred this. Plus, you can get it off of the Summoner Monk, so just another good backup, preferred in my opinion. And that's it for the Toon lineup. For the non-Toon lineup, the 3 Blackstone, a legend. Like I said, this card, the fact that I can get Toon Red Eyes is just way too good. I run the 3-2 ratio just because easier search, since the effect basically says you special summon a Red Eyes from your deck. So by tributing this card, 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes, and you don't want to have it in your hand, so the greater numbers means the better chance you'll grab this and not the Toon Red Eyes, obviously. And also 2 Summoner Monk, just because you can grab what you need for off this special summon, depending on what level 4 Toon you want to go for. Most of the time, either Gemini Elf or Mass Sorcerer for easy field swarm. And you run plenty of spell cards in the deck to make full use of this. Whenever you open it, you'll most guarantee have a spell card in your hand to go for. And that's it for the monsters. Moving on to spells. Sadly, only have 2. Toon Kingdom. We hopefully will get another one soon. I'm actually hoping they reprint this in the Legendary Collection Kaiba. I know they always give us, support of other duelists in the Legendary Collection, so giving Pegasus support in the Kaiba one just makes the most sense to me. But 3 of this, it's the banish, the top 3, making your Toons unable to be destroyed by card effects with its own effect by banishing. So very, very powerful field spell to make full use of in the deck. Very easy to grab as well, since we run 3 Toon Table of Contents. It searches a Toon card or Manga Ruran from your deck to your hand. Pretty standard search for whatever you need for that play. And I also run 3 Comic-Con. Now I might bump this down to 2. Just so I can run 1 terraforming for additional search, because if I open up the terraforming and the Toon Table of Contents, I can grab what I need off the terraforming for the Toon Kingdom, and then use the Toon Table of Contents to grab whatever monster I need. And it is good taking your opponent's monsters with this, but basically opening too many of these, you want to make sure you have Toon World, and if you don't, it doesn't really work out in that favor for you. Also 2 Mimicat with this. If you control Toon World and a Toon monster, target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard. If it is a monster, special summon it to your side of the field, or if it's a spell or trap, set it to your side of the field. You can only activate 1 Mimicat per turn. The fact that Solemn Judgment and Monster Reborn are back now means that this card is just additionally that much more powerful. Being able to take a negation card or an additional special summon card to get Field Swarm really helps with your extra deck plays, whether it be Xyz Summon or Link Summon. So a true powerful card in the deck for sure. And also 1 Shadow Toon. If you want to keep the Comic Hands at 3, you can bump this down to none and put in the terraforming, but that extra burn damage can really help, especially with the direct attacks you're doing with this deck. So that's why I like to run 1 of these. Plus it is searchable if you do need it for that extra burn for the win come main phase 2 if it does pop up. And also 3 Allure of Darkness, draw power. That's the one biggest weakness of the deck, and you run plenty of dark monsters in the deck, especially if you already have your Toon Red Eyes on the field from the 1 Blackstone and you have another in your hand. You can ditch that for the cost of the Allure of Darkness after you've already also sifted through the deck for the Red Eyes for that play. And I also run 2 Instant Fusion. I run these 2 for, once again, more extra deck monster Field Swarm. I run Carbonala Warrior and Panzer Dragon. The Panzer Dragon is for the Cyber Dragon Nova play that you can do with Toon Cyber Dragon if you want to go into Infinity. It's nice to have that backup play in the deck. And to finish up the spells, 1 Monster Reborn. It's basically just, like I said, staple for the Toons that aren't limited for their special summon. Grab them back from the graveyard as well if you can, and they're not limited by the Toon World. Way too good. And that is it for spells. Moving on to traps, I run 2 Toon Briefcase. This is actually my preferred card over Toon Mask, just because when your opponent summons a monster or monsters while you control Toon monster, shuffle that monster into the deck. So when they Pendulum Summon, it takes care of all the monsters. It's basically like Bottomless, but a shuffle effect. And it can be monster or monsters, meaning you can get the multiples when they come out at the same time. Plus it's searchable, so you always have that set card for your opponent to be afraid of when you know they're going to get their play off. And to wrap up the traps, just 1 Solemn Judgment and 1 Warning. Just good monster fodder backup, because for those big monsters you can't take care of, obviously the trap lineup is good to reference to. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra. Obviously I already talked about the Cyber Dragon Nova lineup with that and Infinity. It's basically because you don't go into too many extra deck monsters unless you need them for those situations, because your field for Toon lineup is your main play in the deck. So just having your Toon monsters and sitting on an Infinity that you can make use of with your Instant Fusion and your Cyber Dragon, way too good and very easy, because the special summon of the Cyber Dragon will not take up the basically the normal summon, so you'll still have your Toon monster and sitting on this as well. Plus the 1 Master Key Beetle. This is in here because you need to protect Toon Kingdom, and Magic Planner just didn't do it for much as me. So this card, like I said, extra deck is there when you need it, so that card definitely helps. And also 1 Abyss Dweller and Castell, Dark Rebellion, Arc and Baguska and Tornado Dragon are the generic rank 4s to play in the deck, mostly because rank 4s are the easiest thing you can summon in the deck. And I did consider Mrs. Radiant, but we only run the Gemini Elves for the Earths. So for Link monsters, 2 Decode Talker, 1 Proxy Dragon, and 1 Borreload. Plenty of effect monsters, so Borreload has definitely come in handy for a lot of those different plays. And lastly, the fusion targets for the instant fusion are Carbonala Warrior and the Panzer Dragon. I can't remember if there is an effect monster you can special summon with instant fusion for the level 4, so you could just make use of it being an effect monster for another Borreload target. Can't remember. If it's there, you can comment down below to remind me, but I'm sure there might be one, not 100% sure. And obviously you can always just go for Panzer Dragon if you need that effect monster. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, Kira Twig out.